in college. If he keep going that in 4 years, 3-4 years.
Yeah, he got superstar around him. I can see kids wanting to be like that and play like that.
But to see a teenager play this well is incredible, man, plain and simple.
He's the best teenager I've ever seen in the NBA.
A boy grew 2 inches this summer. Nobody warned the league. Nobody warned the Mavericks. Nobody warned LeBron James. Because history says only 4 rookies since the merger have ever touched 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists a game. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Luka Doncic, and now Cooper Flagg. He is the youngest name on that list, the smallest sample size, the biggest warning sign. Somewhere in Texas, a 19-year-old is quietly rewriting what a rookie season is supposed to look like. He broke a 50-point record held for over a decade. He humbled a champion on national television. And the terrifying part is this: he is not even close to finished growing. This is the story of how Cooper Flagg turned doubt into a weapon.
Those first couple games are probably the most tired I've ever been on a basketball court.
Really?
Yeah, just getting picked up 94 feet, like getting turned side to side, trying to handle the pressure and get everybody organized at the same time. It was exhausting. So I learned a lot about, the game and what it takes to run a team. And Coach Kidd, was one of the best at doing that. And, I've learned a lot from him, throughout this year.
Let's start with the number that should scare every team in the league. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Since the NBA-ABA merger, only 4 rookies have ever averaged that stat line in a single season. Michael Jordan did it, Larry Bird did it, Luka Doncic did it, and in his very first year, Cooper Flagg did it too. 4 names, 3 of them are locks for the Hall of Fame. The 4th one just turned 20. That alone should stop you in your tracks. But here is where it gets scarier. Reports say Cooper has grown 2 full inches since his rookie season started. That is not normal. That barely happens. But it has happened before to a teenager from Greece named Giannis Antetokounmpo, who used a similar late growth spurt to transform his body and his game, and then went on to win back-to-back MVPs and an NBA championship. Nobody expected that jump. Nobody is expecting this one either. Cooper Flagg is already the first rookie since Michael Jordan to lead his own team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals in the same season. That is not a hot streak. That is control. That is a player operating on a different timeline than everyone around him. And if his body is still catching up to his talent, the version of Cooper Flagg we watched this year might already be outdated.
He's dominated 15s, he's dominated 16s, he's dominated 17s, he's dominated 18s and 19s in college.
Every great story needs a flaw, and Cooper's flaw was obvious from day one. He shot under 30% from three-point range as a rookie. In today's NBA, that is supposed to be a fatal weakness. Teams live and die by the three-point line, and a non-shooter usually gets exposed fast. But before you write him off, look at the company he keeps. Paul George shot under 30% from 3 to begin his career. Kevin Durant did too. Both of them became 2 of the most feared shooters basketball has ever seen. And Cooper has already shown he follows that exact same pattern. At Duke, in his first 10 college games, he shot a brutal 22% from 3. Then, something changed. Over his final 27 games, that number rocketed to 44%. That is not luck, that is work. And the story behind that turnaround tells you everything about who Cooper Flagg really is. His trainer, Matt McKenzie, once said you only had to tell Cooper something one time and he would immediately start drilling it. After that shooting slump at Duke, McKenzie noticed Cooper was dropping his hands and losing his balance on release. They fixed it that same night. 750 shots, 1 gym, 1 mission. Cooper texted his trainer afterward, "I'm really going to lock in on this, Matt. Thank you for coming down." He shot nearly 45% from 3 for the rest of that season. This is the blueprint. This is the pattern. And if Cooper repeats it in the NBA the way he repeated it at Duke, his biggest weakness is about to become his next weapon.
Did you know Cooper Flagg dropped 40 the other day? 42 to be exact. Youngest to do it. And I think recently he averaged what, 21 or something?
21, 6, and 5.
21, 6, and 5. Yeah.
But not everyone believed in Cooper Flagg, not even close. After he won National Player of the Year at Duke, a very public conversation happened between two NBA legends, Carmelo Anthony and Paul George, about who the real prize of the draft actually was. Melo made it clear he thought Ace Bailey deserved more attention than Cooper, and he did not hold back on why he believed the hype around Cooper existed in the first place. He said the game had not seen a player who looked like Cooper in a long time, and that was part of why people were talking about him so much. It was an uncomfortable moment, wrapped in an even more uncomfortable comment. Melo did admit he respected Cooper's game, but he still delivered one of the sharpest criticisms of his young career, saying Cooper does not do anything great, he just does a lot of things very good. That single sentence became the loudest doubt hanging over Cooper Flagg entering the league. Solid but not special. Efficient but not electric, and for the first month of his NBA career, it looked like Melo might be right. In October, Cooper averaged just 13 points, 6 rebounds, and under 3 assists a game, struggling as the Mavericks experimented with him at point guard, a position he had never fully lived in before. The hype was loud, the start was quiet, and the doubt only grew louder with every average performance. Then came a night that changed the entire conversation. Cooper Flagg walked onto the court to face Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers to ever play basketball. Cooper struggled that night, finishing with just 12 points. But Kevin Durant saw something nobody else did. Durant himself had lived through this exact struggle as a rookie, forced to play shooting guard instead of his natural position, while Seattle tried to develop his ball handling. He recognized the same pattern happening to Cooper in Dallas, and instead of dismissing him, Durant said something remarkable. He said position changes like that can throw a young player off early in their career, but he believed Cooper was working through it. Then he went further, saying he thought Cooper was going to be such a problem for the rest of the league that he would end up considered one of the best players of all time. Those are not casual words. Those are words from a two-time champion spoken about a rookie who was still finding his footing. And then, right in front of our eyes, the turnaround began. By April, Cooper's numbers exploded to 29 points, 7 rebounds, and over 3 assists a game. His touch around the rim became elite, finishing at 74% at the basket, a number that matches reigning MVP-level finishing. For comparison, rookie Kevin Durant finished at 61%. Rookie LeBron James finished at 60%. Cooper Flagg, as a teenager, was already finishing better than both of them combined. The kid who started the season looking lost was suddenly finishing possessions like a seasoned superstar.
A lot of kids, he played for his team out of Maine. A lot of these kids are going to
recruited.
Yeah, recruited, whatever. Him and his brother and a bunch of those guys they grew up with played on the, I think they were called Maine Select or something like that. But and he made them competitive, versus teams that were stacking teams. You know, him and his brother. You know, I thought that was just super cool.
And then, in one single night, everything changed forever. Cooper Flagg exploded for 51 points, breaking Brandon Jennings' long-standing record to become the youngest player in NBA history to ever score 50. It was not a fluke. 3 months earlier, against a hyped rookie-class rival, Cooper had already dropped 49 points on efficient shooting, sending a message that he belonged at the top of his class no matter what the record book said. But the story does not stop there. Just 2 days after that 51-point explosion, Cooper walked onto the court against LeBron James himself, the same man whose records he was chasing. And in the fourth quarter, with the game on the line, Cooper isolated, spun, and calmly drained a jumper for 40 points, breaking LeBron's own record for the most 40-point games ever scored by a teenager. Think about that. A 19-year-old broke a record that belonged to LeBron James. Of course, greatness always comes with unfinished business. Cooper still has real flaws to fix. In March, his scoring dipped under 20 points a game, and his shooting from 3 collapsed to under 20% for the entire month. Defensively, he is still learning, ranked in the bottom percentile of the league for deflections, even though his rim protection already shows flashes of real promise. But his new head coach, Dusty May, left a national championship program at Michigan, largely because of what he saw in Cooper Flagg, calling him a superstar who plays hard, cares about his teammates, and stays unselfish. Those qualities, May said, are rare. The Dallas Mavericks are not just hoping Cooper becomes special, they are building an entire franchise around the belief that he already is.
Cooper Flagg did not arrive in the NBA as a finished product. He arrived as a warning that the version of him you saw in October is already gone. A warning that every flaw people pointed to has historically become his next strength. Paul George heard the doubts. Kevin Durant heard the doubts. Cooper Flagg is hearing the exact same doubts right now. And if history repeats itself the way it already has at every level of his career, those doubts will not last much longer. He broke Brandon Jennings' scoring record, he broke LeBron James' own record, and he did both of it before he could legally rent a car. The scariest part is not what Cooper Flagg has already done. It is what happens when a player who grows 2 inches, fixes every weakness, and studies every mistake finally runs out of things to prove. If you want to watch that moment happen in real time, make sure you are subscribed because Cooper Flagg's story is only just getting started.